said. But our lead this hour, we'll get to it right now. It's all, by the way, this hour made possible, this portion of the show made possible by Tire Rack. For over 40 years, Tire Rack has been helping customers find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. Ship fast and free, backed by free road hazard protection with convenient installation options like mobile tire installation. TireRack.com. The way tire buying should be. So our lead this hour is from the NFL. And if you look at the date on your phone, or you can hear it if you're blind, it says right there it's the 23rd day of April, and that means, you know what it means. It was the night before the draft when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Yeah, it's true. The fans were nestled all snug in their beds, with visions of sugar plums and high draft picks dancing in their heads. So we're getting ready for the NFL draft, yada, yada, yada. That's all the poetry that will be on the show. So the story here, the big storyline around the draft, based on my minutes-long MALLER investigation, continues to be the buzzards circling around Shedeur Sanders, the spawn of Dion. So if you haven't been following as you're getting ready for the draft, we'll have live draft coverage on these airwaves coming up on Thursday, and streamed video feed on the YouTube. But here on Fox Sports Radio, live coverage throughout the night, and we're hearing the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are said to be, quote, preparing in case Shedeur Sanders slips out of the top 10 of the draft. Now, how do you prepare? Is that like preparing for an earthquake? Like you're supposed to know that you get into the doorway and you have to try to avoid things falling on your head if there's an earthquake? Is that like preparing for a hurricane, knowing where to go? Like, how does one prepare for Shedeur Sanders falling out of the top 10? The language is so stupid that is used. Now, that report comes amid chatter that the Yinzers, the Steelers, are actually looking to trade back in the first round. However, that would not necessarily take them out of consideration for Shedeur Sanders, because there is chatter, we talked about this in a previous episode of the show, that the Sanders sweepstakes, it's not likely the right word to use, considering there are reports that he is going to fall out of the first round. So let us discuss the question. The question for the esteemed panel: how would you describe Shedeur Sanders' stats entering, not really stats, his status entering the final few hours? You got all day today, and then usually everything gets shut down until the draft. They don't want to announce anything until once the draft begins. So the final hours, what is the status update for Shedeur Sanders as we get closer and closer to the kickoff in Green Bay of the draft? I've got my observations. You've got the old spaghetti factory, 1980s television, and Disneyland. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make some delicious, fresh cheese, which, if you go to the draft, you're in the holy land of the cheese there in Wisconsin, so take full advantage. Now, number one. Sorry, I can't get that enough. Number. Right.
Number two.
Well, no, it's still. I said number one.
Number one.
Right. So to answer the question, how would you describe the status of Shedeur Sanders as we head into the final hours, if you will, before the draft? Very dramatic. It's like walking a tightrope. It is a precarious situation. Is it true that Shedeur Sanders is the great unknown? The great unknown. The draft is a TV show. We know it's a TV show. It's big business. And Sanders' story is as the world turns. It's like a soap opera. Ooh, what's going to happen? High drama. To have good TV, you got to have drama. Very important. There's an executive named John who works at NBC, who's one of the advisors on Benny versus the Penny. And John's like this grizzled lifetime TV guy, lifetime executive. I mean, really good, solid TV executive. And he taught me, gave me like the inside out TV 101, about like how it works, and there's no reality everything that happens on TV is planned one way or another, right? So kind of let me inside the TV. I'm a radio guy. So I've been lucky enough the last couple of years to do the TV show. And so John over there gave me the education on TV. Well, the NFL draft is a TV show. And as a TV show, you need to have storylines. And one of the storylines in this draft is Shedeur Sanders, the kid that was born on third base, living the charmed life, son of a star. So all the old dudes will be watching because they remember growing up with Deion Sanders, and Deion's still cool. And so everyone's kind of been wondering what's going to happen with his kid here. But watching and looking at this from a couple steps back, it's like going to a family dinner at the old spaghetti factory, and it's the spaghetti lovers special because it's this draft for Shedeur Sanders. It's like eating a big bowl of spaghetti when you're a slob, and you get that beautiful tomato sauce. You get that splattered all over. It's like a Jackson Pollock painting. Maybe that's a better way to describe it. But there's the tomato sauce everywhere. It's on your nose. It's on your clothes, your ears. You're just a mess. You're just a mess. So there is talk, as we have mentioned in previous episodes, that Shedeur Sanders is going to not even be picked in the first round. He's going to have to wait till Friday. I'll have to do the old walk of shame, even though I don't believe he'll be at the draft, but the walk of shame. And then there's others that are convinced, well, he will be a top 10 pick. He's going to be drafted in the top 10. This is all nonsense. This is just nonsense. Top 10 pick. And he'll be picked at least by the Saints at number 9. They're not going to pass up. They need a quarterback. They're not going to pass this guy up. Now, I say the smart money is he will be drafted near the end of the first round. That's my position at this hour. I'd be surprised. He shouldn't be drafted in the first round based on his skill set, but he will be drafted in the first round, late in the first round. Late in the first round. So that's my smart money right now. Now, speaking of this, page number 2, the volume is being turned up around the Shedeur Sanders story, but not about him per se. That's one of the storylines. Another storyline here that has been spread from the mouth of Adam Schefter, who reports that outside of the Yinzers, outside of the Steelers with Mike Tomlin, that any other coach who drafts Deion's son, Shedeur, better be very comfortable with their job security. Why? Well, the obvious Komodo dragon in the room is that the first time the team plays poorly and goes through a rough patch, first time that happens, the fan base will be calling for a coaching change, and the speculation will start to swirl about Deion Sanders stepping in and saving his son and saving some woebegone suckbag franchise in the NFL. So, I pose the question, is Deion Sanders' influence, his immense influence over his son Shedeur's NFL future, a positive or is it a negative? So positive on one side, negative on the other. And the arrow on this one was, it's like a 1980s TV show. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life, okay? The facts of life. Here's my position. The arrow is pointing right in the middle, which is not good talk radio, but it's right in the middle. With Deion Sanders in the picture, it is a zero-sum game. It is a zero-sum game, meaning Coach Prime giveth and Coach Prime taketh away. For all the aura and the razzmatazz that Deion Sanders and by DNA Shedeur Sanders inherited, for all of that good stuff that Deion provides, and you're getting a star, just add water. You're not getting a great player, add water. You're getting a star, add water. So you've got that. But you also have the boogeyman factor. Boogie, boogie, boogie. The boogeyman. Watch out, right? You get the boogeyman. He casts a long shadow, things that go bump in the night, bumpity bump. Technically, Deion Sanders has already agreed to a massive contract extension that will keep him in Boulder, Colorado through the 2029 college football season. But you and I know, in fact, everyone and their mother knows, that outside of entering the coaching transfer portal to go to another college team, there's a very real possibility that there's some fine print, some minutia that would lead to Deion Sanders being able to walk away and go coach the Cowboys or whoever he wants to. They're not going to lock him in. He doesn't have an ironclad contract that he will not be able to leave Colorado. All right, now, final point. We move away. Believe it or not, there's other draft stuff outside of Shedeur Sanders. I know, I'm shocked too. I am stunned, but there is other stuff going on. So Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe. So he is getting a fair amount of smoochy. A lot of love from the cottage industry of draft pundits. The pre-draft process or process have been very kind to him, buttering his biscuits. He has been described as a less polished version of another Jalen Hurts. That sounds pretty good right now. A lot of people say the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, that's the way to go. And an AFC coordinator that has not been named, says that Jalen Milroe is a better runner than Lamar Jackson was in college. Holy crap on a cracker, Batman. All right, so let us discuss. What do you make of Jalen Milroe being compared now not only to Jalen Hurts of the EAGLES Eagles and the Ravens Lamar Jackson added on to that? So what do I make of it? That is the voodoo boogaloo is what that is here. It's a curse. It is Disneyland-like. It is Fantasyland is what it is. Jalen Milroe had a roller coaster final season at Alabama. He was erratic, capital E, his performance there. And really a box of chocolates player, like a box of chocolates at Alabama. From week to week, you had no idea which quarterback was going to show up. Some weeks he was an imposter. Some weeks he looked NFL ready, and it was not consistent at all. You never knew what you were going to get, how he was going to perform week to week. And if you look at the measurables, he's like a third-round pick. Third round, fourth round pick, Jalen Milroe, guy that you draft, and maybe he turns out to be good in a couple years. If not, no harm, no foul. That's it. He's got below average height. That's a red flag. He's in the first percentile, which is not good, by the way. It sounds good, but it's not. First percentile in hand size, tiny hands, which likely is why those tiny hands were responsible for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. How about 24 fumbles for the Crimson Tide over the last couple of years? 24. That's an average of 12 fumbles against Southeastern Conference opponents. Methinks that number would skyrocket against NFL opponents, but what do we know?